If you died today, would you want your last Instagram post to be your last words? Find out what these celebrities shared in these painfully eerie online epitaphs. On July 7th, 2020, Naya Rivera uploaded her last Instagram post, a photo of herself cuddling her young son Josie with the devastating caption, "Just the two of us." The following day, she would be dead. Unfortunately, a number of heartbreaking deaths have rocked the cast of Glee. One of the most shocking due to the sheer tragedy of the circumstances was that of Naya Rivera. According to People magazine, Rivera was on a boating trip with Josie at Lake Piru when the pair jumped into the water on the count of 3. Tragically, they became submerged, though in a heroic final act, Rivera managed to save her child's life by carrying him back to the boat. Rivera was never seen again and was declared a missing person. It was reported that she helped him onto the boat and then he heard Naya yell help and she put her arm in the air. As reported by Vulture, the actor's former Glee co-star and friend Heather Morris initiated a search to find her. 5 days after the accident, Rivera's body was found. She was just 33. According to CNN, Ventura County Sheriff Bill Ayoub said, "She mustered enough energy to get her son back onto the boat, but not enough to save herself." Robin Williams' suicide remains one of the most startling celebrity deaths. For decades, the comedian brought joy into fans' lives with his impressions and madcap shtick, but his goofy antics hid a profound darkness. Much like his performances ranged from the zany Aladdin to the poignant Awakenings, this combination of warmth and humor was present on his social media accounts too. This was none more apparent than in Williams' final Instagram post in which he paid tribute to his daughter Zelda. On August 1st, 2014, the actor shared a black and white photo of himself holding Zelda when she was a toddler. "Happy birthday to Ms. Zelda Ray Williams, quarter of a century old today, but always my baby girl. Happy birthday, Zelda Williams. Love you." Just days later, on August 11th, Williams died by suicide, aged 63. As reported by The Guardian, he had been suffering from the degenerative condition Lewy body dementia and was experiencing depression, paranoia, and anxiety in the lead-up to his death. Williams's bittersweet goodbye to Zelda meant the world to her.
So for me, we were already kind of together and close.
Zelda said in a statement reported by the BBC, "My last day with him was his birthday. I will be forever grateful that my brothers and I got to spend that time alone with him, sharing gifts and laughter. He was always warm, even in his darkest moments." No one expected Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman to die so young. The multi-talented actor, who was as adept at depicting James Brown as he was playing a Marvel superhero, was diagnosed with colon cancer in 2016 when he was just 39. However, according to the Washington Post, Boseman decided to keep his diagnosis a secret, continuing to work while he was gravely ill. On August 12, 2020, he took to Instagram to express his joy at the Democratic Party's election win and Kamala Harris's appointment as vice president. "Yes," he wrote below a photo of himself and Harris gleefully embracing at a rally.
The whole world knew who we were.
But what makes Boseman's hopeful last Instagram offering all the more poignant is the fact that he thought he would survive his illness. As The Hollywood Reporter notes, Boseman was preparing to star in the Black Panther sequel, determined that he would recover in spite of the advanced stage of his cancer. It wasn't until a week before his death that the reality set in that he wasn't going to make it. 2 weeks after his celebratory post, Boseman died. He was 43. Paying tribute to Boseman, Harris tweeted, "Heartbroken. My friend and fellow Bison Chadwick Boseman was brilliant, kind, learned, and humble. He left too early, but his life made a difference."
And as always, Wakanda forever.
The passing of Shane Warne was one of the most shocking deaths in recent sporting history. Considered a living legend of the sport, the demise of the cricketer was especially startling due to his vivacious persona and larger-than-life character. On February 28, 2022, Warne posted on Instagram, which he captioned in his quintessentially humorous style, as he detailed his efforts to get into shape by July. Along with the hashtags healthy and feel good, he wrote, "Operation Shred has started 10 days in, and the goal by July is to get back to this shape from a few years ago."
Everyone was asking how I was, so I thought, look, I'm okay.
But tragically, the beloved Warne would never see July. On March 4th, the 52-year-old sportsman died suddenly while on vacation in Thailand. As reported by Sky News, he is believed to have suffered a heart attack. Eerily, Warne died the same day as fellow cricketer Rod Marsh, whom he had mourned on Twitter just hours before his own death. As Metro notes, Warne had previously discussed his decision to give up smoking, with his final hopeful Instagram post illustrating his lust and desire to live his best life. At the cricketer's state funeral in Australia, his father Keith paid tribute to this endearing zeal. The Guardian quoted, "This was Shane, leading with infectious energy, his giving, and that beaming smile. He somehow could always manage to make someone's day that little bit better." Music exec Jamal Edwards was a giant of the UK hip-hop scene. As founder of SBTV, he was awarded an MBE at the tender age of just 24. Sky News highlights that he was instrumental in launching the careers of successful musicians such as Ed Sheeran and Jessie J. Edwards. Edwards and Sheeran were very close, and Edwards' final Instagram post was a touching tribute to his BFF. He wrote, "Happy birthday to the OG, Ed. Blessed to have you in my life, brother. You know you've been mates a long time when you lose count on the years. Keep smashing it and inspiring us all, G." The celebration was moving, particularly as no one had any reason to believe that the pair's relationship would not continue for many more years. But on February 20th, 2022, just 3 days after posting the tribute to his pal, Edwards died. He was only 31. Edwards' mom, Brenda, explained on Loose Women that Jamal was at home with her and his sister when he died suddenly of a heart attack. She said,
and then he passed with me holding his hand. So I get a little bit of comfort from knowing that I was with him.
Pop singer Goo Hara was popular in both her native South Korea and around the world. Sadly, she struggled with her own demons, which were aggravated by her own personal losses as well as the abuse she faced from her ex-boyfriend. Hara took to Instagram on November 22, 2019 to post a photo. She was tucked in bed and wished her fans good night. On the surface, the photo appeared to be nothing more than a cozy bedroom snap. As reported by NPR 2 days later, Hara was found dead at her home in Seoul from an apparent suicide. She was 28. As the outlet notes, she was enduring immense personal strife in the last few years of her life. She had been subjected to domestic violence by her ex-boyfriend, Choi Jongbum, who also threatened to post the couple's sex tape online. The Straits Times wrote that it was later found that his blackmail plot was instrumental in Hara's suicide, and he was sentenced to 1 year in jail. It was known that Hara was deeply affected by the death of her close friend, fellow K-pop star Sully, who also died by suicide. As the BBC reports, Hara said that she and Sully were as close as sisters. ABC News said that she also began a harrowing Instagram Live in tribute to Sully, tearfully declaring, "I hope you will live happily as you please up there. I'll live more diligently for you. I'll work harder." As frontman of the hugely popular Linkin Park, Chester Bennington inspired people the world over with his unique brand of family-friendly yet angst-ridden nu metal. As such, his death in 2017 at the age of 41 shocked fans. On July 7th, days before he died, Bennington posted a Twilight snap on Instagram in which he posed happily in front of thousands of fans during what would be his final live performance. He captioned the snap, quote, "One more light." As told by TMZ, he died by suicide in Los Angeles on July 20th. According to his friend and bandmate, Mike Shinoda, he had been distraught over the suicide of another alternative rock legend, Chris Cornell, with whom Bennington was extremely close. During a televised live performance following Cornell's death, Bennington was struggling to keep it together. Shinoda told Odyssey, "When we were doing a sound check, Chester couldn't even make it through the song. He was getting halfway through and getting choked up." As People notes, Bennington had a long history of depression exacerbated by the trauma of being sexually abused as a child. British boy band The Wanted were immensely popular back in the early 2010s. Official Charts states their 2011 track Glad You Came was a huge hit and propelled the group towards stardom. Sadly, in 2020, as reported in OK Magazine, 32-year-old band member Tom Parker had been diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor. He and his wife were expecting their second child right before his diagnosis. He told the magazine, "I'm still in complete shock. It's so much to take in. I knew something wasn't right, but I never expected it to be this. You never think this will happen to you." As told by The Mirror, Parker struggled with the effects of his illness and resolved to perform with The Wanted one last time on a Greatest Hits tour in 2022. Since Parker was too sick to perform at his last concert, he sat on a throne while his bandmates sang to him. Memorializing the performance on Instagram on March 28, 2022, Parker posted a photo of himself smiling as his bandmates knelt beside him in a serenade. "Dream Team," he wrote alongside a heart emoji. 2 days later, the BBC reported that the 33-year-old had died. Betty White's ubiquitous presence on our TV screens as well as our social media feeds projected an illusion of an immortal icon. As she approached her 100th birthday in 2021, this became none more apparent, as both White and her admirers awaited the momentous occasion.
Oh, my birthday! I completely forgot!
On December 28th, White posted an image of her upcoming People magazine cover on Instagram saying, "My 100th birthday, I cannot believe it is coming up and People magazine is celebrating with me." The actor was due to turn 100 on January 17th. Tragically, she didn't make it. 3 days after her post, she died aged 99. In her cover story for People, White reflected on the secrets to her longevity, her positive insights appearing deeply tragic in the aftermath of her death. "I'm so lucky to be in such good health and feel so good at this age." Her former co-star Sandra Bullock offered a tribute to White, stating that she had hoped she would celebrate her 100th birthday the same way she has celebrated every day of her life, with humor, kindness, and a vodka on ice, toasting to the fact that she's a badass who has left us all in the dust. The veteran star won't be forgotten. Her infectious optimism and zest for life, not to mention the occasional F-bomb, remain a lesson in age positivity that everyone can learn from. Swedish DJ Avicii, born Tim Bergling, was highly influential in the electronica and dance scene. As Variety notes, his unique musical stylings helped to usher EDM into the mainstream, with his track Levels being a colossal hit that helped change public perceptions of the genre. Sadly, as per Metro, Bergling struggled for many years with mental health issues and substance misuse. On April 4th, 2018, he posted an Instagram photo of himself walking through a swanky house with the caption, "It's always sunny in California." Perhaps the cheery post hid the dark struggles the DJ was living with. Several weeks later, on April 20th, TMZ reported he died by suicide while on vacation in Oman. Avicii was 28. Bergling seemed adept at concealing his turmoil from those around him, including his own family. As his father, Class, told The Times, "It's obvious there were things I didn't see." He also revealed that his son was previously hospitalized due to excessive drinking and was prescribed painkillers, which he became dependent on. He was easily upset, easily irritated. It was hard to talk with him. Rolling Stone reported that in honor of Bergling's legacy, his family launched a mental health foundation. British TV personality Caroline Flack found herself in the media spotlight as the host of reality series Love Island, as well as for her relationship with Harry Styles. As reported by The Sun, she was trolled online and called a pedophile for dating Styles when he was 17 and she was 31. The age of consent in the UK is 16. Flack revealed in her memoir, "In the street, people started shouting at me pedophile and pervert." iNews noted in addition she faced further backlash when she was arrested over alleged domestic violence charges and subsequently lost her job as Love Island host. Subsequently, Flack's Instagram presence was greatly affected by the bullying, as a result of which she disabled comments on her last post, which was a collage of photos in which she kissed and cuddled her pet dog. As stated by The Independent, she died by suicide 2 days after her last post. She was 40. The BBC reported that Flack's tragic death initiated the Be Kind movement, which sought to prevent social media bullying. One half wholesome TV dad, one half raunchy comedian, Bob Saget entertained millions on the family sitcom Full House, while also appeasing enthusiasts of late-night adult comedy. Saget's final Instagram offering is particularly harrowing because he had no idea that death was looming right around the corner. Chillingly, he uploaded the post on January 9th, 2022, mere hours before he died. Waxing lyrical about the show he had just performed, Saget reflected on his hopes and dreams for the future. The 65-year-old wrote, "I'm back in comedy like I was when I was 26. See you in 2 weeks. Peace out." The post is heartbreaking not only because of Saget's excitement for his upcoming shows, but because of his palpable new lease of life. People magazine reported that night he suffered a severe head injury, possibly from a fall in his hotel room. Investigators suggest that he then went to bed, fell asleep, and never regained consciousness. Anne Heche's haunting end is undoubtedly one of the most tragic and unexpected of celebrity deaths in 2022. The actor's demise is made all the more harrowing by the seemingly hopeful and happy message she last posted. In her final Instagram post, uploaded on July 14th, 2022, Heche posed gleefully with fellow actor Joey Lawrence and his wife Samantha, writing, "Good times on set with Lawrence Bros." TMZ reported a few weeks later on August 5th she was involved in 2 unusual car accidents. First, she drove into a garage and sped away. Then she crashed into a woman's home, which caused her car to burst into flames. According to Deadline, the injuries she sustained would prove catastrophic. Her brain was deprived of oxygen and she was badly burnt, effectively leaving her brain dead. Reuters reported that 9 days later she was taken off life support. Heche was 53. Although many criticized her following the accident, Heche ended up helping others through her death by donating her organs, a testament to her altruism.
Please help us here.
You want me to help you out?
Yes.
Perhaps her final post was an omen of hope not for herself but for the lives she would go on to save. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by dialing 988 or by calling 1-800-273-TALK-8255.